go, man.
Continue.
There we go. Hey, how you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with crank.com. And with that, metalstation.com. Today I'm getting to have another chat with Elijah. We chatted about 4 months ago from Father Before Me. He's due to release his Ruby EP, which is a cracking EP. Comes out June 25th. We did talk about the Until Lambs Becomes Lion single as well when that one drops. So when I got the email about this and the message going, do another chat, I'm like, hell yeah, dude, hook it up. So I hope you've been well, man, in the 4 months since we chatted last time.
Oh yeah, man. I've been, as well as one can be during COVID. I mean, I'm in New York, so I'm pretty sure like Australia and like New Zealand and like everywhere but America and United States. I hate saying America because America's two huge continents, but anywhere but like the United States and India has been doing pretty good. But I mean, I don't want to get into politics, but it's just like there's some people that are just like don't care. There's some people that do care, and it's weird. But I'm doing well. Me personally, everything's doing well. Music. I'm really excited to release the rest of this EP. I got a new video coming out with a new single off this EP. It's the most bizarre video I've ever released. It's like really trippy and bizarre. It's animated too, so it's really out there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I watched the just watched the Behind the Veil animated one, man.
Oh, so okay, that's the one. Yeah. So you got the link for okay, cool. I haven't released it yet. Yeah. But that's like, dude, it's really bizarre, man. Like it's very subliminal. Kind of about like the song's about like the like we were just talking, man. Same shit, different toilet. Like you're kind of going through the motions, and the song is kind of like how we hide behind this veil. And sometimes we need to just break out of that to kind of like see what's really in front of us,
Yep. It would have been pretty nice to do an animated clip, because I suppose it makes it hard at the moment, as we're saying with COVID, to get out and do film clips due to different restrictions and whatever else, and how many people can be in a room and stuff like that. So was it the easier option going with the animated one?
It was easier, I would say financially, just because when you animate something, you kind of just like, here's footage that I want. So I recorded some footage like in my room, and he was able to animate me over that. So whatever was behind me didn't matter. So I could film some of it in my room. It's also easier because I don't have to like travel to location, which costs money. And, it was just, it was a little easier just to kind of do. It was a fun, interesting concept. And, I'm really happy with it. I mean, I filmed lambs during the COVID thing, but luckily we were very safe about it. And with the sword fighting stuff, we were at least 6 feet away. It looks like we're closer, but we were very safe about it. And, I mean, none of us were sick 2 weeks later too, which is kind of a cool thing. So
yeah, kind of a cool thing. So you've been pretty busy the last 4 months, just flat out working on this. I've noticed you've been doing pretty good with the promo as well. And we were talking about Twitch as well. You're doing a bit of Twitch gaming and then doing some music. I like the Twitch platform, man. A lot of artists are using that, man. And it's a really cool way of connecting with another audience.
Yeah, it's been really cool. I mean, Twitch is something that I've always I don't know how obvious it is, but there's a lot of video game and like Star Wars and nerd stuff that influences me really, really fucking hardcore. Like it's like some people are like, yeah, I'm influenced by like Metallica or like Iron Maiden and or like, like Offspring and Guttermouth. It's like, yeah, I'm influenced by bands, but the one thing that influences me more than music is like my fandom for stuff, like my nerd comic books, sci-fi stuff. So like Twitch has been a great outlet for me because I like playing video games, and I've always been like that kind of person where like we'd hang out at my house and like I'd have a new video game and I'd be playing it and my friends would watch me, or like vice versa. Someone would play a video game, I'd watch them. So Twitch was kind of like a way for me to like hang out with people who like weren't here, but we could kind of be in the same room together.
Yep.
And it's been cool because I like it being separate. Like I do Twitch just for fun and as a hobby, and people come in and I'm able to like play my music because it's like the DMCA like copyright strikes. I don't get that because I own my music. So I can play all my music. And it's funny because people who have been turning in, I actually been playing the new EP secretly on. So like some people have gotten a sneak peek at it if you like, come and watch that. So I mean, it's been great, man. Twitch is a lot of fun,
And it must be great for you to finally get this EP out, because when I spoke to you about the single, we kind of talked a little bit about it and around it, and that it must be good to finally come to the time that it's like I'm ready to release this upon the world, and it is a
Oh,
good EP.
100%. Yeah, no, thank you so much. It's really, I love it because it means a lot to me because two of the songs are actually like songs I've had since like high school. Um, and I don't know how familiar you are with them, but one is Trepidation.
Yep.
That riff,
Second track.
I wrote that in like high school, and that song is actually about I went through a really fucked up like mental health issue shit this last year, and not even just because of COVID. So what I did was that song personifies my anxiety and depression as like a horror film. So I kind of like the lyrics are very much like you're in a horror film and you're running from this villain or this monster, and it's like my depression and my like all my mental issues and shit. And so that was really cool to kind of get out. And then Under New Kingdoms is a song that I wrote years and years ago that actually was an instrumental we played with my old band, and we never finished it. It was like an 8.5-minute song. I shortened it down to 5 minutes and I put lyrics over it. And Under New Kingdoms kind of represents kind of like I'm in a new situation now with music, and it's kind of like the lyrics reflect that. It's kind of like change, and like one of the lyrics is just kind of like it's all about like learning how to crawl before you could run, and like learning the process of things. Like just because something gets destroyed doesn't mean it's the end. It could be a new beginning. So it's like Under New Kingdoms. And with the imagery of Ruby, it's kind of like it's the aftermath of like that destroyed city, and like New York being this mountain I've had to climb like the last, God knows how many years I've been here and playing music. So it's very this EP is definitely like a little bit more darker and like a little bit more emotional for me,
Yep.
I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's I think it's great when artists can talk about issues like that, because it's something that we've talked a lot more about over the last couple of years as well. It's something I don't try and shy away as well about mental and health issues. We all
Mm.
have these issues with anxiety and depression. It's also something that I've battled with a lot of my life, having PTSD diagnosed at a young age. I
Mm.
think it is good for people to speak up a little more about it, and then people that can see this conversation say, look, it's okay. Look, we all suffer it. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter, if you're an
Yeah.
artist doing what you're doing or what I'm doing, chatting to all these great musicians like yourself.
No, 100%.
We're all still the same inside, and we all still have these feelings and these anxieties and these issues. And then to connect to music like yours, it would have been a really great cathartic experience as well, to go back and redo these songs as well and give them a breath of fresh air and revisit them.
Mm. Totally. Yeah. It's funny because the Trepidation song originally was about the headless horseman. It's called the Hessian.
Yep.
So the imagery I kind of have is kind of like, I think like I would love to do a video for that where like I'm running around and like the headless horseman's kind of chasing me, and there's a symbolicness about that where it's like a headless horseman's missing his head, so you're missing your mind. You know what I mean? You're not all there, kind of thing. That's kind of like the imagery I have with it and stuff. So I mean, financially, I don't know if I'll be able to do like, like with I try to do like 2 videos, an EP,
Yeah.
and like I would love to do more, but it's like, shit's expensive, man. So like you gotta keep rolling, So I mean, we'll see how my coin purse is doing.
Yeah, and that's the thing that makes it. That's why people who like, Father Before Me and these bands, they need to get along and support them as well. Not just those Spotify listens, by getting over and buying albums,
Oh,
buying
for
merch,
sure.
and throwing down some real support for the scene. Because if you've got everyone chucking in pre-orders for this Ruby EP, buying music, and you can go, oh well, okay, maybe I might be able to do another film clip on this. You know what I mean? But you got
Yeah,
to have that
yeah.
support from the fans too.
No, 100%. And like I don't kind of like a lot of people, like I don't want to like make people feel guilty like, oh, you got to support my music and my it's like if you do, I'm very grateful. Even if you just stream the song, like I would love for everyone to buy it, and I think that's great. The people who have and people who have done it, and I'm very, 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 very grateful for people who buy one song. And I mean, sometimes people will buy it off Bandcamp, and I'll see like they'll buy the one song and they'll give me like $5 for the one song. I'm just like, whoa, like I'll email them and be like, dude, like thank you. I try to reply and try to be personal as possible. And, you know, I try to make it as real as possible. Like, yeah, this is a business for me. Um, how successful it'll be, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. It's more about just like, you know, this is who I am. This is like a self-reflection of me. So it's kind of like people give a minute of your time. I'm totally like, that's more than enough for me, you know.
Yeah, and
So
that's the artist side of you, where you want to create, regardless of if
yeah.
you've got the years. But it is easier for me being on this side of the camera to go, "Hey, go buy the albums."
Yeah.
I find a lot
No,
of bands go,
totally.
they go, "It's man, thanks for saying that. It's a lot easier for you to say it than us. We just sound like a bit of a dick when we're telling everyone to
Yeah.
buy our music."
It's funny because a lot of people have this stigma where they feel guilty about it, but it's at the same time, it's like, you know, when you're on YouTube, oh, fucking cat hair, and people are like, oh, like and subscribe, and it's like, you wouldn't think that, like, do I have to say that? And it's like, you kind of do. So it's
Yeah.
kind of the same thing with buying. Like, I don't try to do it so much, but I do tell people, please buy this. And it's,
Yeah.
believe it or not, like, people will buy things if people will do things if you ask them to, which is quite shocking, you know.
Yeah, it's funny that YouTube, when you get like so many hundreds or thousands of views, and then you could probably get one person subscribe. But you kind of got to do remind some people at times, like and
Yeah.
subscribe this, because it just kind of makes it easier for, you know, the bands and the artists and creative people like myself going forward as well. It's like, oh yeah, everyone's getting into it. That's cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's something actually because like with music videos, you can't really say, oh, like and subscribe at the end, because the video is kind of just the video. So I'm actually trying to work on more ways I can put content out that aren't really a music video, like maybe like a behind the scenes thing. And I go like, hey, you know, like and subscribe, please.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Platforms like that, and where Twitch, where we can still, as creative people and artists, still be able to create, share, and talk and go with our passions, but also be able to, you know, organically be able to cover what we do as well, get paid for it too, and to do what we love. Because
Yeah,
I do this for nothing. I do this for the love of it. You're the same. Most
yeah,
musicians do it for the love of it as well, unless you're in the top echelon, and even they're getting screwed on all the
yeah.
Spotify stuff these days anyway.
No, 100%.
So, you know, you got to look at all these different platforms, i.e. Twitch, YouTube, your podcast stuff, your Spotify's, and all that, to try and get it organically. But YouTube and Twitch seem to be the best if you can get those eyes. Twitch is really good if you get so many people watching. You get up to a certain point, then you start becoming an affiliate, then you get paid, and, you know, and it's not about that, but it's about being able to buy a new guitar if you want to buy a new guitar, cover recording costs.
No,
It's
100%,
not
man.
cheap.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, and the thing is, like, the shit I do is really expensive. Like, my recording costs are like, you know, I'm not trying to say like, yeah, like quality's better than everybody else's, but like, it is clearly evident that the quality I get, like, it wasn't recorded in a basement, or, you know, it's I went to professional like engineers, and as nice as they are, like, you know, they charge me, like,
They
you
don't
know,
do it
like,
for free.
no, not at all. I mean, they may be nice, like, they're nice, like, they're nice about certain things where they're like, oh, you know, like, hey, I need an extra week to, like, you know, pay the rest of this balance. And it's like, it's fine, because like they know me well enough that I'm not gonna like take the tracks and run, like, you know, obviously, you know. And it's funny because I just booked so like Emerald was the first EP. This is Ruby. And if anyone catches the drift I'm doing, Sapphire is next.
Nice.
And I'm actually going to record Sapphire in October, and I'm hoping to release it in like Christmas time.
Yep.
And I'm hoping, I don't know, we'll see. I always don't like to have a release date until like I'm a little closer to recording, and you know, so, but like, I'm just trying to keep the momentum, like, fucking one after the other, like, keep it going. I don't want people to be able to fucking catch their breaths with this shit, you know. So you know, even with COVID, you know, like, I try to just eat at it, you know. So
Yeah, well, it'll give you something to do to keep creative and keep the wheels rolling on what you got going as well, and to keep people interested, because they do have short attention spans at times as well, the masses, and they kind of get a little lost. But if you keep bringing music out and these EPs and albums, people will start noticing. You just have to be productive with your time and really work that promo cycle, and just keep as busy as you can to keep people interested, and just to be around, just to hang around and still be there. People tend to notice that as well.
yeah, No, I actually, I mean, I've been like how I even met you and most of these people I've been dealing with lately. Keith from Infecting Cells has been great. I really never did PR before. I kind of did my own stuff, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, and that shit works. Like I did YouTube ads and I got one of my videos up to like 34,000 views on YouTube. And you know, like I'm like I started doing PR with Keith and I got featured in, you know, obviously it's not like he can magically make it happen. There is a bit of, you know, like we got featured in Metal Injection, which I was really, really excited about because like I was just like, wait a minute, like I was like, I know that name. And I was just like, you know, it's just like all these websites that like, I'm like, wait, I know this. Like, you know, so and even, you know, being featured on your show, it's great because it's like, dude, you're the other side of the world right now. And it's funny because like I go to my Spotify and I look at all my numbers, and you would think that like the United States is our biggest streamer. Like our biggest streams are from the United States. United States is second.
Yeah.
Australia is actually number one for our streams, which is fucking bizarre. I was just like, you know, part of it is, you know, being on your channel and getting exposed to like, you know, all the Aussies down there and stuff. And you know, it's great because it's like it means that like I never would have thought to go to Australia, and I'm actually trying to work out booking like a few shows in Australia next summer.
Oh, that's good. You'd love it here, man. We got a great punk scene as well, and
Oh
your
hell yeah,
show would
dude.
go off,
Oh,
man.
100%. Yeah. I mean, even just I've never left the United States. So anywhere I go, I'm fucking stoked. I've been to 48 of the 50 states. You know, I haven't been to Hawaii and I haven't been to Alaska because you need to leave the country technically to do that.
Yeah.
Um, but I've been to like, I mean, which I still think is kind of cool. I don't think of it as that impressive whenever I think about it. I'm like, that's like going to all the countries in Europe, you know? So, but I'm excited to leave the US. Like, no, I mean, part of me is like, I love the US because I'm from here. Part of me, the punk side of me is
Yeah.
just like, get away. Like,
Yeah.
but no, I'm excited to like, you know, I'm excited to like, I want to go to like different countries. Like Japan is one place I really, really, really want to go to.
Yeah.
Australia, of course, and like anywhere in Europe, especially South America too. Like we actually have a pretty weird following in Mexico, which I don't know how that happened, but we have a lot of people in Mexico who are really, really liking our
Mexicans are
music.
cool. I've been interviewing a few Mexican bands from Mexico. I'm out of interviewing CRS out of there, and I interviewed a guy called Christian Bernadette the other week. And yeah, Mexico's got some cool bands, and they're
They're
cool,
like hard.
cool
Mexico
scene.
and Japan have the most hardcore fans, and
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but like I hear that from everywhere. Like it's something about it's I don't know if it's a cultural thing or if it's just like, but like it's kind of like if you make it in those two places, you can kind of like build something off of that. You know, it's weird. It's kind of like how like the UK used to be back in the like 70s for like, you know, jam bands and stuff. Like Jimi Hendrix went to the UK and blew the fuck up. You know what
yeah,
I mean? It's weird. I mean, I'd be happy to go anywhere, honestly. Like, you
yeah.
know, Canada is another place I want to go to. I have family up there, and it's just I want to go everywhere, dude.
Yeah,
Anywhere
same.
that'll welcome me, anywhere that'll welcome me, like I will play. Like you're gonna book me a show in Madagascar, I'll play. You want to book a show in the Bermuda Triangle, like dude, I'm there.
There we go. Father performing at the Bermuda Triangle, then heading down to Australia. That'd be one to see, man.
Yeah, right.
I got to mention the mix and master. You had it done by Grant and Carson at Atrium Audio there, did you?
Yeah. Those guys are fucking amazing. Like not even just as audio engineers, but as producers and as human beings. I mean, they're some of the nicest producers and engineers I've ever, you know, like obviously, you know, not just because I'm paying them, but like, dude, they're just so nice and genuinely like just fun to be around. And you know, it's great because when I go record, I actually like live out there. So I see them every day. It's almost like I live with them for like 2 weeks. I mean like a week. So
Yeah, that,
um
that must be a fun experience as well. And recording. We were talking about recording before. Tell us about your little bit about your recording process as well for this one.
so recording is both amazing and the most hectic thing I've probably ever had to do because how we kind of do it, and I'm learning each time I go. So like the first time I went, there were some things I didn't do right, but we fixed. Second time, I did those things right, but then there's new problems that arise. And a lot of it is I do a scratch track first for every song. And that takes up a lot of time. So probably one thing I've learned this time is I need to have my scratch track ready before I go out there. But I do a scratch track on guitar. Doesn't have to be perfect, just so we have the song laid out. and then we do drums. And it's like me and Carson the first day, we do drums, we nail it out, we get guitar. We don't really do much, but just get drum sounds for the first hour or two. And then I bang out drums in a day. Sometimes we have to come back the next day, depending if it's like, oh, I didn't get this one part, and like most places they comp it because one, I'm not the greatest drummer in the world, so it takes me a few times to get it. But like, he'll have me record the whole song like 8 times, and they just pick the best. Like, oh, this one, you nailed the verse really well on this take, but you did the chorus better on this, or like the fill was really good on this take, but it wasn't. And they kind of just do whatever on that. The part that sucks though is like I do drums first, and I get blisters on my hands. And I don't know if you've ever tried to play guitar with blisters. It's like cutting mozzarella cheese through a grater. It's just like,
Oh,
so
ouch.
yeah, that kind of sucks. It's also like there's not really much time to break. And it's not like they're like cracking a whip at me and stuff. Like they're like, dude, do what you got to do. You need to go out, smoke a cigarette, go ahead. You guys want to take lunch, you can do whatever you want. They're like totally really supportive. And it's funny because Carson and Grant, they're both producers I deal with. And Carson is more of the instruments and structure kind of the song. And then Grant is kind of like the vocals and overall direction of a song. So like he'll give me tips on like, hey, like I like that take you did, but I think you could try it like this instead. Or like, oh, like what you did there is nice. And sometimes he'll be like, hey, I can hear you're just tired. Like, let's just stop, maybe take a rest, go do some guitars. So like I'm constantly being bounced back and forth by them. So like I'll do drums and then I'll go do a vocal because we have the scratch track. So we do one vocal a day. So I'll go do a vocal, and while Carson's editing drums, I go do a vocal. And then when I go do bass or guitar, Grant's mixing drums and he's doing vocals. So it's like I'm being like the whole day I'm like a ping pong ball, and they just hit me back and forth. I mean, it's fun. I love it. But
It's
like I'm one
fun,
guy, so like
but
I'm doing it all myself and stuff. But
it must be super intense though, because I've chatted to a couple of solo musicians like yourself that do it all, and that process must, like you said, it must be a fun but a really, really intense process as well. Having all those instruments to go through your mind, and then the vocals, and then the arrangements as well. To be able to work with Grant and Carson as well for that side of things must really help as well. Give you a little bit of direction and some
oh
other
yeah,
ideas and thoughts to go through your mind as well.
yeah. Like I've found moments where like like they really are really great at producing. Like I think on one of our songs, Thwip, the chorus I sang in a minor key, and I was singing that, and he was like, why don't we transpose that? Why don't you make that a major key instead? Like sing it in the major melody. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. And we did that, and it ended up sounding better. And it's like it's kind of like having a band, because like if it's just me, I'm, like even like some of the greatest musicians in the world, they have people there to kind of give you a second, hearing on it. And it's really helpful because it's like a second set of ears to hear something, and I'm just like, I didn't consider that, maybe I will try that. The only real tough part about doing it is that one, I'm limited on my spending, so I'm only able to book so many days, so I kind of have to like finish it by that week, because it coming back means paying for travel, because it's like 3.5 hours away from where I live. I don't have a car. You don't drive in New York. You take buses and trains and stuff. So I take like an Amtrak out there. It's like a 3-hour Amtrak. I like have to like buy food every day. It's not like I can go record and come back home and go record and
Yeah.
come back home. But like if I had like all the time in the world, I think it would be a little less stressful. But I'm kind of every time we've done it, it's funny. Like every time we've done it, we've literally worked up to the last minute, like the last second of the day. So it's been like, I'm trying to map this out. Like what I would love to do is for Sapphire, when I go out there, like have like 3 hours left and be like, okay, let's mess around with some things. Like Grant has thrown like he's thrown like strings on the back of a bridge or an interlude. I'm like, oh shit, like I just heard that sounds really cool. Like I would like more time to do stuff like that, because Grant has perfect pitch, and that's scary because most people are like, yeah, I got perfect pitch. Like, no, this dude has perfect pitch. He like turned around the tuner and he would sing the note and it would show up, and it's just like, how do you do that? Like,
Yeah.
So it helps when like you're trying to sing a note and he's like, oh, you're like a hair fucking flat or something. And he's like, try to get it, you know? So it's like, dude, it's super helpful having them around. And they also get what I'm doing. So they help me. It's kind of like they bring it out of you. Like they kind of just like, all right, you know, a little extra boost.
Yeah. And we mentioned the album art before as well. I got to ask, who done that one?
Richard Coppell, he's a dude from Germany, and it's funny because let me see if I have it. I'm into like fingerboards and stuff, like
Yeah.
they're wooden little fingerboards and stuff. And let me see if I have it. Yeah, I have it right here. So I bought this fingerboard and I thought it was really fucking sick.
Yeah.
I can't really see it, but it's like a tree on it.
Yeah, I see it.
You can kind of see it.
Yeah, yeah.
He did the graphic on this.
Cool.
And I just loved it. And I hit him up and I was like, would you be interested in doing album art? He's like, yeah, I could do it. And he did Emerald. And then we ended up doing Ruby. And we're actually working together on doing Sapphire right now.
Awesome.
And it's great having him do all, like the same engineer doing all three, same graphic artist doing all three. So it's kind of like this complete, you know, package. And, you know, like I do EPs because this all could have been one album. It was only 12 tracks. It could have been an album, but I feel like you can build momentum better. And you know, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. Like, yeah, it was all one, it could have all been one book or one movie, but he made it into a trilogy. So it's kind of like what I wanted to do, you know.
Yeah. No, I look forward to it, man. This has been an absolute pleasure, Elijah. I'm gonna let you go. Everyone.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Everyone.
Awesome being here.
Oh, dude, this has been cool as, man. Absolute fucking pleasure. I want to have a chat later in the year when you drop the Sapphire one as well, man. So I don't want to
anytime
talk anything about that one, dude. When that one drops, we'll do this again for sure, man.
Nice, man. Thank you.
Nah, pleasure, man. Ruby drops 25th of June. Everyone go over, head out, grab some pre-orders if you can. Grab them over Bandcamp if you have to. Throw down some support. He's on Twitch as well. Go fucking find Elijah on Twitch and throw him down some love there as well. Cheers,
thanks,
mate.
Man. Appreciate it. Be safe, man.
Hey, legends, how the bloody hell are you going? If you like that interview and you want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe. Keeps me doing what I'm doing and make you a bloody legend. Ripper. Too right, mate.